to judges, teachers, and non-worthy opponents. Today, I stand proudly to speak against the idea that freedom of speech should have reasonable limits. When you start adding limits to freedom, you're not protecting it. You're destroying it politely under the label reasonable limits. The moment you start adding limits to freedom, it's like adding a little poison to water. You may still call it water, but drink it, and you'll know the difference. People say you're free to speak as long as it doesn't offend anyone, annoy anyone, or trend on Twitter. That's not freedom, my friends. That's a voice under surveillance. Freedom of speech is not a privilege. It's the oxygen for democracy. Now, my friends on the other side may say, freedom of speech should have reasonable limits to prevent hate speech or chaos. Sure, but who decides what's hate? Who decides what's chaos? You? Me? The government? One man's insult is another man's truth. Think about it. Every great movement in history started with someone dared to say what others called unreasonable. Every movement that changed the world. Gandhi's Quit India, Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream, Nelson Mandela's Voice for Equality all began when someone dared to say what others feared to say. If they had waited for permission or stayed within limits, we'll still be waiting for freedom instead of living it. If doctors refuse to give bad news because it might offend the patient, no one will ever get treated. If you post your thoughts online, debate with your friends, disagree with your teacher respectfully, you're using your freedom of speech. Take that away, we become robots, programmed to nod, but not to think. You see, the problem with reasonable limits is everyone's reason is different. For some, a joke is a humor. For others, it's hurting sentiments. Imagine comedians having to send their jokes for government approval. By the time they get clearance, the joke would be historic fiction. If comedians had reasonable limits, half of them would be out of jobs. Imagine someone saying, you could joke, but only about vegetables. Let's not forget, freedom of speech is not a luxury. It's the heartbeat of democracy. Let's not rob humanity of its greatest power, its voice. Because when freedom of speech has reasonable limits, truth starts whispering and lies start shouting. Thank you.